and they're in their homes, and they're just as afraid of this situation as anybody else, and they're just as sad about this situation as anybody else.
I want to bring in. I got to bring in Reverend Jamal Bryant, who's been out on the street as well, and I also want to bring in Mark Lamont Hill to join Charles and I in this conversation. Also, and Van Jones is with us as well. Reverend, you've been out here on the streets. As you look at these pictures and you listen to the conversation that's not only being had here on CNN, but it's being had throughout Baltimore. What's your assessment?
It's absolutely painful. What you're seeing does not reflect the real rich legacy that Baltimore has. We've had 7 days of having absolutely no incident. This does not reflect the movement that we've been going after. We want complete overhaul of a broken system that has failed us over and over again. And what we're seeing on the news is heart-wrenching, all the more considering that we called today for a moratorium, that there ought to be no marching, no protesting on today at the request of the family.
And why didn't anybody listen? Why didn't?
I do not know. We were coming back from the cemetery when we were getting the news about this happening just 3.5 miles, less than 3 miles from where the funeral took place. And so we're really calling our young people in the calm. They have a reason to be frustrated, but they do not have a reason or a right to loot and to damage buildings.
And if you're just joining us, I want to say you're looking at pictures burning on the streets of Baltimore. Baltimore under a state of emergency right now. Schools are closed tomorrow. There is a partial curfew in effect tonight, but tomorrow it goes in effect in full for minors and every single person in the city of Baltimore. I want to bring in now Mark Lamont Hill. Mark, we've been talking about it. He said, the Reverend said, ask for a moratorium. As we look at these pictures, they asked for calm, and there is no calm tonight.
No, I mean, there shouldn't be calm tonight. Black people are dying in the streets. We've been dying in the streets for months, years, decades, centuries. I think there can be resistance to oppression, and when resistance occurs, you can't circumscribe resistance. You can't schedule a planned resistance. You can't tell people where to die in, where to resist, and how to protest. Now, I do think that there should be an ethics attached to this, but we have to watch our own ethics and be careful not to get more upset about the destruction of property than the destruction of black bodies. And that seems to me to be what's happening over the last few hours, and that's very troublesome to me. We also, I think, have to be very careful about the language that we use to talk about this. I'm not calling these people rioters. I'm calling these uprisings, and I think it's an important distinction to make. This is not a riot. There have been uprisings in major cities and smaller cities around this country for the last year because of the state violence that's been waged against black female and male bodies forever. And I think that's what's important here. I agree with you, Don. We can't ignore the fact that the city's burning, but we need to be talking about why it's burning and not romanticize peace and not romanticize marching as the only way to function. I'm not saying we should be hurting people. I'm not saying we should be killing people, but we do have to understand that resistance looks different ways to different people, and part of what it means to say Black Lives Matter is to assert our right to have rage, righteous rage, and righteous indignation in the face of state violence and extrajudicial killing. Freddie Gray is dead. That's why the city is burning. And let's make that clear. The city's not burning because of these protesters. The city is burning because the police killed Freddie Gray. And that's a distinction we have to make.
I understand what you're saying, and that's nuance. But in all practicality, Van Jones, the city is burning because someone, in essence, set it on fire.
Yeah, this is going to be, I think, a difficult conversation for us to have and work our way through. First of all, there does seem to now be, just objectively,